It is Friday, September 5th, and the Yankees were kicking off the biggest series of the year, taking on the first-place Blue Jays with a chance to gain some ground. Cam Schlittler making the start on a Friday night. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. I'm just curious. I haven't had a chance to research this yet or to really spend a lot of time thinking about it because the thought just occurred to me a couple of minutes ago. But when was the last time that a Major League Baseball team dominated the season with home runs, was the league's highest scoring, led the league in home runs, and then homered their way all the way through the playoffs and the World Series? I don't think it happens that often. I think you got to find other ways to score. I think you got to have a more balanced and dynamic offense. And right now, the Yankees just quite simply do not. Quite simply do not. It's just aggravating how much difficulty the Yankees have scoring runs when they don't hit home runs, especially when we watch other teams have the kind of at-bats that we wish the Yankees would have. Right? What the Blue Jays did tonight was exactly the type of at-bats that the Yankees used to have when they were really good in the 90s. They would foul off a ton of pitches, right? They would take close pitches, work their walks, but also rip base hits. You know, it really bothers a pitcher when you foul off 8 or 9 pitches and then rope one into the corner. And what the Yankees do is they're so trained at only swinging at their pitch, right? The pitches that they do the most damage on, that they'll take a bunch of pitches, you know, they'll walk, but if the pitcher's pounding the strike zone and not necessarily thrown to their sweet spot, they just don't do anything. They just don't do anything offensively. Even when they get a couple of guys on, unless they're facing some total bum from a shitty team, you feel like even if it's 2 on, 1 out, it's going to be pop out, strike out, or, you know, strike out, weak, ground out, some other nonsense garbage at bats. That's what it feels like. Have you guys ever heard of a fainting goat? They're these little goats that live on the farm, and if they get startled, they go stiff, and they fall down, and they play dead. I don't even know if they're playing dead. They look dead, but you know they faint. Everything startles them, and then they fall over. That's what the Yankees offense reminds me of. Anytime that there's any kind of resistance, any kind of pitcher who's not afraid of them, they fall over and go stiff. Kevin Gausman's good. Credit where credit's due. Gausman threw 8 innings of 1-run ball tonight. He's a good pitcher, an experienced veteran. But the Yankees should know better than to just take home run swings against him all night. The Jays' biggest problem is their bullpen. And in Game 1 of the series, I expected the Yankees to work the count a little bit, to battle this guy, and to try and get into the Jays' bullpen as quickly as possible so you can exploit it over the rest of the series. Instead, it was the other way around. Not only did the Yankees not put up any kind of a fight against Gausman, but the Jays did to the Yankees what the Yankees should have tried to do to the Jays. They knocked the pitcher out early. You know, they worked Cam Schlittler. They battled. And it was just an ugly night for the Yankees. We had some more sloppy play. Judge and Jazz let an easy fly ball drop in. I mean, you pay this kind of money for a team, and you expect competence, right? $300 million should get you a little bit more baseball competence. A little bit more fight. Instead, what you get is a team that looks like they're allergic to competing in their own division. 17-23 now against the American League East. 3-8 against the Toronto Blue Jays. That's the difference in the division right there. That's it. If you had played the Jays better, you could be in first place and maybe not the Jays. That's embarrassing. It's humiliating how bad they have played against their own division. It's like they're built to beat up on the AL Central, right? To thump their chest when they hit 9 home runs against the Oakland A's. But anytime that a team in your division shows you any kind of pushback, the Yankees hit the canvas. Anyway. If you can't grind out at bats, if you can't manufacture runs, if you can't do the little things that winning baseball demands, all these home runs are just empty calories. It's like eating fast food, right? It looks satisfying, but the second you actually need nutrition, you're starving. Every time they face a little bit of pushback, they cave. Pop-ups, strikeouts, weak ground balls. Fainting goats in pinstripes. Let's get to the recap.
Let's go. Let's get it going.
So yeah, the Jays jumped out to a 4-0 lead on Cam Schlittler, knocked him out of the game. I'll dive deeper into what went wrong for Cam Schlittler in just a few minutes when we do the pitcher spotlight. But, this one was more about how the Blue Jays battled at the plate and the Yankees didn't. Now, the Yankees did get their customary home run from Giancarlo Stanton, one of the only guys on the team who doesn't seem fazed by the big moment. Home run number 18, he had 2 hits on the game. Now a .987 OPS, 287 batting average. Looked for a second like the Yankees might rally. Jazz had a good at-bat, but once again got hosed on a call way off the outside part of the plate. The Yankees have been just getting eaten alive by the umpires all week. It's getting frustrating. Toronto added another home run in the 5th inning. Solo shot by Vladdy Jr. The most aggravating part of that inning, though, was the pop-up that fell in. Shallow pop-up to right field. Should have been Judge's ball 100%. Jazz probably could have caught it, right? But the outfielder has priority there. And let's be honest, Jazz is not trying to run into Aaron Judge. Not only does he not want to hurt Judge, but he doesn't want to get trampled. Judge has to make the call there. Outfielder has priority. I know he hasn't played in right field in a while, but you can't just stand there with your dick in the wind waiting for someone else to take charge. If you can see it and catch it, call for it. That's the rule. Call it the moment you know you can catch for it, and then the player, there's a hierarchy of who has priority, right? Judge could have caught that ball. He should have called for it, and then you just take it. Come on, guys. That's baseball 101. Something this team has just been abysmal at. I thought Ryan Yarbrough was one of the lone bright spots tonight. 5 1/3 innings, a 1-run ball. Obviously just off the injured list. 3 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. But the Yankees fold like a cheap suit. Apoka says, no effort, none whatsoever. I don't know if they were tired because they rolled in at 5:30 in the morning, but they looked dead today. They just looked awful.
Pitcher spotlight.
So let's talk about Cam Schlittler. The last time that Cam Schlittler pitched against the Jays, his breaking balls were not as refined as they've become in the last couple of months. So I was feeling good about today, especially after the first 2 batters. He struck them out. A curveball and a cutter. And you're thinking, oh man, Schlittler brought the good stuff tonight. And he actually did have pretty good stuff, but the Blue Jays just went into contact mode. They said, you know what, we're not going to let this guy strike us out anymore. And they started fouling everything off. I mean, this guy, Alejandro Kirk. Are you kidding me with this guy? Just battling. Pesky as it gets. And, Schlittler threw 40 pitches in the first inning. 21 minutes it took to get out of the first inning. More of the same in the second inning. Blue Jays just kept fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch. Altogether, they got 5 hits and 2 walks. They made Cam Schlittler throw 66 pitches to get 5 outs. 66 pitches to get 5 outs. He left trailing 4-0 with 2 runners on base. Luckily, Yarbrough was able to get out of it. But Toronto's offense tonight was just battling in a way you never see the Yankees do against good pitchers. You never see the Yankees have 8-9 runs in a game against a good pitching staff. I mean, maybe if somebody implodes, really implodes. But when they face a good pitching staff, they go belly up. And they try to remain in home run mode rather than forcing the action, making the pitcher throw a ton of pitches, fouling off a ton of pitches, hitting line drives. They just don't do that as a team. As Joe Girardi would say, it's not what you want. So now we are 4 games into the Gauntlet, and the Yankees are 2-2 after taking 2 out of 3 from Houston. They really could have taken all 3. They dropped the first game to the Jays in Game 1. Let's take a few comments. Chris Petrillo says, hopefully the Yankees will win the next 2 and put this one behind them. I mean, hopefully. We're all Yankees fans here mostly, I think. I'm sure we got some Jays fans out there that are here to talk some smack, but that's only because the Jays channel sucks and there's no fun to be had there even after a win. Tontao says, can't win them all, but you'd like to win the ones against your division. Frankie Baseball says, I don't know why the game was so late yesterday. No excuse, though. That's just baseball trying to get the most out of the Yankees. They've been doing that for years. Action VJ says, at least Volpe didn't have any errors.
You can't win!
Volpe did not play today. Caballero got the start. He went 0 for 3. I mean, Caballero is not a great offensive player either, but you can tell that he's just got a much better arm than Volpe at shortstop. When Volpe has to throw it from shortstop, it looks like he's putting his entire body in to get it across the diamond, and a lot of times it's still sinking and having that gravity effect as it approaches first base. Whereas Caballero, he just kind of makes a nice, easy toss, and it's chest high to the first baseman. Volpe's never had the arm for sure. That's for sure. Franklin Lopez says, oh, look, the Yankees choke again against an AL East team. They need to just learn how to hit like the Jays do and not rely on just home runs. 100%. You just hope they don't play an AL East team in the postseason. Anyway. Fit says, Vlad and Guerrero combined 7 hits and a walk. Those are both the same person. Vlad and Guerrero are both the same person.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Anyway, tough night for the Yankees. Let's take a couple of voicemails here.
It's just a reaction.
Here's a comment about Schlittler.
Hey, Derek, Matt here from California. Hey, so Schlittler, getting hit, he didn't have his stuff. It is what it is. The thing that gets me, though, with this current Yankee team, this current product that we're seeing on the field is just the inability to get hits. It's kind of like the Yankees rely on these big clutch home runs, and there's just no one in the lineup that's just getting these hits and producing. I mean, look at all the teams that the Yankees are facing. When they lose, they're just getting hits, maybe a home run here and there. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely not those old Yankee teams that we would see. So,
yeah, I think they're going a little bit too much with the vibes and dingers strategy, right? It's frustrating to watch. I mean, how many times are you going to hit a ground ball to second base trying to park one in the seats? It's just aggravating to watch. Got a call here from Mary Beth, who sounded a little frustrated.
Yeah, it's Mary Beth again. Maybe I should say now, this stinks. This stinks. Okay, go Yankees. Come on.
Love the hard-hitting analysis, Mary Beth. Appreciate it. We got a call here about the Martian, who's been taking some infield at first base.
Hey, Derek, I don't think the Martian at first base is a good idea because he's 5'9". No offense to anyone else out there. Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You would prefer that a first baseman be a big guy with a big wingspan. I think Aaron Judge should play first base. I mean, I know he's a good right fielder, except for what happened tonight. But if you're going to protect his arm, makes sense. I think next year you're going to probably, if they sign Bellinger, see Bellinger at first base, see Rice behind the dish. If they bring back Grisham, he'll be in center field, and then Dominguez in left. That's kind of what I'm predicting. I don't think you're going to see major changes to the team this year. You might see him make a change at shortstop, maybe try and get a stopgap guy and move Volpe, and then hope that Lombard develops. That would be something that they could look at. I think they're going to try and develop Ryan McMahon for third base. They've got him under contract. I can't see them moving on there. Jazz obviously had a great year. They're not going to move on from him there. First base seems like one of those options where it's like store one of your better hitters. Either it's Rice, or Bellinger, or maybe you do move Judge there eventually. Stanton's not going anywhere. He's still under contract and still mashing at the DH spot. You can count on him to miss a couple of months every year. But, that's where we're at. I don't think they're going to make a lot of changes. this offseason. James Masucci says Volpe got to go. I don't disagree.
Hey, Derek, I think it's imperative that the Yankees hold on to Caballero and Ahmad Rosario. They're versatile, and Volpe just has been Volpe all year, to say the least. Anyway, I hope Caballero doesn't screw up tonight and you play this tomorrow. Thanks again. Great show.
Well, Caballero didn't do anything too bad or too good tonight. So I do agree with you, though, that they should keep him. I don't know if he's a starting shortstop, though. I like him as kind of a 10th man, as Boone described. You know, he can steal bases, he can get bunts down, but 660 OPS, 227 average. I think we got to get more offense on this team, and not just home run hitters. We got to get like 2 more guys who are 285 hitters. That's what we need. We need a couple of more Bellingers. You know, and we don't even need the 30 home run power. Give me 2 more guys who hit 280 with 20 home runs and can play adequate defense and run the bases without embarrassing themselves. Quick word from DraftKings and back to finish it off.
Game on. Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football, it's first touchdown fireworks, anytime TD rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Frankie Baseball says, we need a couple of more Bellingers, but instead Cashman's going to get 5 more Volpes. Isn't that right? Isn't that the truth? We're going to go after 3 or 4 more guys who hit for massive power and don't pick up base hits. Anyway, Doug Rouse says, what scares me about guys at first base is the possibility of wide throws from the infielders taking the arm off of Judge or someone in the base paths. I don't think that anybody's going to run into Judge and hurt Judge. I think if somebody runs into Judge, they are going to be the ones that get hurt. Right? But yeah, I mean, what if you run the same risk of injury, you know, guys running into outfield walls and so forth. Anyway. All right. Tough night for the Yankees. We got a bounce back tomorrow, 1 p.m. against the Jays. Game 5 of the Gauntlet. Let's hope they actually show up. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.